Okay, we're looking at a revision on the time series that you'll be tested on. We've got 11 pages, so it's going to take about 20 minutes or so. Okay, so I want you to pause and have a go. So in this one, we're going to fit a straight line. It doesn't say what technique to use, so we're just going to use our eye for this one. So have a go, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, you're back. So I've got a straight line, and I reckon something like that would be close, where you've got 3 points above and a couple of points below. That's pretty close. With the next one, it's trending down. So again, I'm just going to make yeah, that's okay. I'm going to make a line that goes down, and that's about right. You've got a certain number of points above and a certain number of points below. And the last one definitely trending up. So again, it's a bit of a guess, and that might be it. So again, you're looking at how many points above and how many points below. You're not using any of the techniques, the formal techniques. It's just done by eye. It says actually here. It says let me get my pen back. It says equal number of points. So we haven't done as a technique. So basically, equal number of points is number of points above equals number of points below. Okay, so let's come across the next slide. Okay, so this one's going to take us a little bit of time. So I want you. We're going to fit. We're going to do a plot, and then fit a trend line. So again, we're not using any of the formal techniques. So I want you to plot the points and then fit a trend line by your eye. So pause, and when you're ready, come back live. Okay, so we've got on the vertical scale number of employees. So don't forget, you've got to label your axes. You can use some acronym shortcuts. And along here, you've got your months. Now, I'm not going to do every single thing, but basically, you started at March, and you finished at December, and the lowest number was looks like 3,300. So you might start with like 1,000, 2,000, etc. 3,000. Highest number looks like it's 6,000. So we've got to go up as high as 6,000. So I'm not going to do it, but basically, if you plotted the points, you'll end up with a trending down. Okay, so plot it, which is the baby skill. Fit the trend lines by eye. And what would you say about the trend? It's secular, and it's trending down. Okay, so hopefully you got that okay. But I'm not going to sort of waste too much time. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question. Okay, so in this next one, they give you the regression line. They don't tell you how they did it, and you just have to do some substitutions. So can you have a go at that one? And then this next one, there's another regression line there, and a series of questions and answers. So have a go at those, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, in the first one, y equals 2 times 23 plus 11 equals 46 plus 11, so the first answer is 57. And in the second one, 93 equals 2x plus 11. Subtracts and then divide. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. Okay, next one, there's the producing calculators. It's deemed accurate between 100 and 1,000. Okay, find the cost for 200. Okay, so cost equals 600 plus 7.7 times 200. So get your calculator out. 600 plus 7.7 times 200. So the cost would be 2,140. So that's part A. Part B, how many calculators can be used for $2,000? So $2,000 is the subject. 600 plus 7.7 times how many calculators? So subtract 600 is 1,400. And then just divide. So 1,400 divided by 7.7. So that's about 181.8. So it's about 182 calculators. How many calculators? So 181 to 182. For 10,000 calculators, it's just the same step. 600 plus 7.7 times 10,000, and chuck that in the calculator, plus 10,000 times 7.7. So that's going to be 77,600. Part D, what are the fixed costs? Well, the fixed cost is just the $600 because that's got nothing to do with N, so the fixed cost is $600. And E, which of the following is an interpolation? So interpolation is anything in between. So A is an interpolation, A to C, $2,000. $2,000 gave us 182, and that's between that. So B was an interpolation. $10,000, 10,000 calculators is way outside. So C is an extrapolation. Okay. Right, yeah, that's it. Moving around. Okay, next one is find the equation of the 3-median regression line. So again, just need to look up your notes, and I'm just going to move my pages. So we need to break it up into 3 groups, okay? And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's not going to be even groups. So the theory is if you've got one extra group, you put the extra group in the middle. Okay, so there you're going to be groups. So have a go, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, you're back. So X lower, X in the medium or middle, and X in the upper, Y in the lower, Y in the middle, Y in the upper, and we're using medians. So just got to check to see what the medians are. So let's do the X's first. 23, we've got 4 numbers, so that's the middle. So the first middle is 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're in order of size, so the middle is 42. 55, 56, so they're in order of size. That's the middle, so it's going to be 58.5. Okay, 32, 34, 38, 43, they're in order of size, so that's the middle, so that's 36. Okay, we've got a number out of order, so put the 44 first, then the 47 goes next, then the 48, then the 51, then the 53, so 48's in the middle. 21, 22, 50, 53, they're okay, so that's in the middle, and when you average those out, you get 36. The formula is y upper minus y lower, y upper minus y lower over x upper minus x lower. So 36 minus 36 equals 0, so the gradient is 0, so you've got a flat line. So you don't have to worry about the x's, the 2 y's cancel out. The b value is a third of those numbers, 36 plus 48 plus 36 minus, now the next part is like m times that, but that's going to be 0 because that's 0. So when you do that calculation, you get 40, and so the regression line is just y equals 40. Okay, come across when you're ready. Okay, so what's it say at the top? Okay, software companies research the volume of sales, and we're going to use the proper linear regression model, which means you've got to have lots of columns. Now I've set it up already. In the test it'll also be set up. So the next, so we need to have averages there. So that's going to be x average and y average. And the columns you definitely need are x minus x bar squared, y minus y bar, and the only other column you definitely need is x minus x bar, y minus y bar. Okay, and we're going to end up with a total here and a total for the x minus x bar. Okay, so I want you to have a crack at that. It's going to take you probably about at least 10 minutes to do, and come back when you're ready. Okay, so let's have a look. The average here was 158. The average here was 192.5. X minus x bar, minus 98, minus 78, minus 58, minus 38, minus 18, 2, 42, 62, 82, 102. And then while you've got those numbers there, you might as well square them straight away. So when you put that number up, you might as well square it at the same time to save you some time. So when you get that minus 78, just square it straight away. 324, 1764, 3844, 6724 and 10,404, and when you add those numbers up you get 43,560. Y minus Y bar, okay, Y minus Y bar, so 207.5, 107.5, 82.5, 57.5, 17.5, minus 2.5, minus 42.5, 92.5, 142.5, 192.5, and then we're going to multiply this column by that column. Okay, so I've done that already. So negative 20,335, negative 8385, negative 4785, negative 2185, negative 315, negative 5, 1785, 5735, nearly finished, 11685, and 19635, and the total is negative 74,850. Okay, and then the equation gradient is that number divided by that number minus 74,850 divided by 43,560, which is minus 1.718. The B value is Y bar minus MX bar equals 192.5 minus a minus, because the gradient is minus, it's going to be minus a minus, which is a plus. So 1.718 times 158 equals 463.99, and so the equation is minus 1.718x plus 463.99, and that's the equation. So that's done. What would be the volume of sales for $95? So part B, for 95, cost equals minus 1.718 times 95 plus 463.99. That's about 300 according to my calculator. And part C, discuss how reasonable this result is given the original data. So hang on, back up. So we're putting a price of $95 in, and we're getting the same answer as 300, but 95 would be an answer closer to 275. We got 95, gives us 300, but 300 is the answer for 80, so it's not a very good predictor. Because the answer for 95 was the same as the answer for 80, so it's not a good predictor. Okay, so you're going to get one of those, so make sure you know how to do them. They do take a while. Okay, so next one we're going to do a 2 mean one. We're not going to worry about the 3 median, which I've crossed out. Okay, so 2 mean, we're going to do 16, so we're going to cut it into half, and so you're going to find the averages for X, or averages for the day. So if you call that X, call that Y if you want to. You're going to need to find an average for the lower and an average for the upper, and from there just use the approach that's in your notes. Okay, have a go. Okay, you're back. So the average was 4.5, average was 2.44, the average was 12.5, average was 3.25. So we do the change in Y, so Y lower, Y upper minus Y lower, M upper minus M lower, and when you do that you get 0.1013. The B value is Y lower minus MX lower, so it's 2.44 minus 1.1013 times 4.5, 1.984, and so the answer is So 0.1013x plus 1.984, something like that. What type of trend of data is this? Okay, it's got a very flat gradient. So it's, if you plotted it out, it's either random or it's very weak cyclical. But you wouldn't know that until you actually plotted it out. Okay, let's go, copy and come across. Okay, got 4 pages to go. Radio, so we've got a 3-point moving average to do this time. Okay, let's get my notes. So I'm just getting my notes ready. So 3-point moving average. Okay, so again, look up your notes, but basically we're looking at the average of those numbers as our first one, and then that becomes a new set of data. So have a go, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, so we've got, when we average those numbers together, 75, 72, and 69, when we average those together, we get 72. When we average those numbers together, we get 71.7, and we just keep moving across as we go. 69.7, 70.7, 66.3, 65.7, 64.7, and 66.0. So we started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8. So we lose a point off each end. And if you plotted those graphs, it'd be a clear secular downward trend. Alright, come across when you're ready. Okay, so this next one is a 4-point centered moving average. So again, I've started off, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 188, 179, 183, 180, 173, 171, 182, 168, 171, and 166. So our end up is going to be over here. So 4 points. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that becomes a number that doesn't exist in between, and then you just keep going. At the end of the day, our data is going to live over here in this last column. Okay, so in your test you'll have those set up. So have a go, and when you're ready, come back. Okay, so when you average those out, you get 182.5, and then when you average the next 1, 2, 3, 4, that averages out to 178.8, and then when you average those numbers out, that becomes 180.7. So there's the first number. Okay, so we just keep going, averaging 4 numbers. So 176.8. Next one is 176.5 according to my calculations. 173.5, 173.0, and the last one is 171.8. And then so those two become that number, those two come across to become 177.8, and then those two come across 176.7, 175.0, 173.3, and 172.4. Okay, so we're losing data at the top and the bottom, and so we've calculated. Now I don't have time to plot it, but if you did plot it, you'd see that there's a definite smoothing of the data, and when you plot that data there, you can see that there's whereas before it looked a bit random, but when you plot the smooth data, there's definitely a trend downwards. So the athlete's improving. But I won't do the data plotting, but you'd have to do the data plot. Okay, so you put the time up this way and the days across this way, and you'll see the data. Okay, let's move across. Okay, so next one is a 3-point median smooth average. Okay. Again, just backing out, just to get my notes ready. So we're going to do 3-point median. So 3 points means that, but then you've got to make sure that the numbers are written in the right order. Okay. Right, so have a crack when you're ready, come back. Okay, so the first three are written in order, so the first number is okay. The next one, 29, 27, 24, they're in order, so the next number is 27. 27, 24, 21, they're in order, so 24 is okay. 24, 21, 20, that's in order, so that's 21's okay. 21, 20, 22, they're not in order because 20 would be before 21, so 21 goes down. 20, 22, 21 are not in order, so 21 comes forward. 22, 21, 23 are not in order, so 22 comes into the middle. 21, 23, 25 is in order, so 23 is okay. 23, 25, 27 is in order, so 25 is okay. 25, 27, 26 is not, so 26 comes in. Okay? And so we've done the 3-point median smooth and comment on your results. So again, the data is a lot smoother, so it's effective in smoothing out, which you could show by the plots, okay, which I'm not going to do in this video. Okay, next question. Okay, so we get up to seasonal indices with the last two questions. Okay, so the seasonal indices that were obtained from the time series. What is the last number? Okay, have a go. Okay, when you're ready, you're back. So we know that the average of those numbers is 1, so that means that the total must be equal to 4, and when you add those numbers up and subtract from 4, the number that's missing is 1.18. Okay, last page. Okay, so we've got to do a seasonal data, and I haven't done this yet, so we'll have to just pause for a sec. Okay, so I've just running out a bit of time, so I've just done the averages down this way and got those numbers across there, and then I then divide each number by its average. So for instance, 104 divided by that, 103 divided by that is that number, 100 divided by that is that number, and 111 divided by 11 is that number. So that's, you want to keep going. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time on this video. So you're going to do that each time, and then to get the seasonal indices, you're then going to average those numbers. So the average of those numbers, for instance, when you add them up and divide, would be 1.00067. And then, so that's the spring average. And then this average here, when you do it, you'll get 0.8584. And then this average here is 0.9169, and then this average here is 1.2180. And then to finish it off, you then just divide the 104 by the seasonal indice. So for instance, the first line would be 103.31, 102.32, 108.28, and 110.26. So that's the first line. And then in the last part of the question, so we compute the seasonal indices, which are those numbers there, deseasonalize, which is going to be those numbers for the 4 columns, plot the original and deseasonalize. So when you plot the original, it sort of goes up and down like this, and then when you plot the deseasonalize, it looks like that. It's a lot smoother, and so there's a small trend upwards. Okay? So hopefully that gives you an idea what's on the test coming up next week. Thanks. Bye.